obviously. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Saturday edition of In the Huddle with Coach Muddle, Nevada Nick, and Stizz. They have an appointment with some cream, hopefully to pick up their cream and stuff tomorrow morning. So hopefully that's why we're doing the show today. Hopefully that can work out. Man, we already got a call running on here. Jared, listen, we just started, bro. Let me get into it a little bit. So hold off. Call back in a little bit, bro. I don't know how to not take this, Can I not? Okay, there it goes. All right, we're good now. All right. Thanks.
It used to go to my phone, which I don't know how the hell he did. And, the guy just gets away with murder. He puts it to go to my phone somehow. Unbelievable, this guy.
And I explained this 120 times. I had to set up a Google Voice count for school when we were on Zooming for the COVID thing. They wouldn't let me set two up. So that's why it was set up.
So you have no other phone numbers?
Oh, I have no idea because I don't know that whole thing. I have no idea. But this
you have no idea if you have like a house number or Huh?
I don't have a house. What do you mean house number? What are you talking
house
about?
Number, like through your house, like not your cell phone. I'm saying.
No, I don't have a house number. I don't even have a home, so I don't know what you're talking about.
He lives in a box.
Yeah,
he lives in a box.
In fact, we're going to start a GoFundMe for coaches. We just found out coaches home.
I'm a homeless man. I'm stealing Wi-Fi from the neighborhood.
Let's be honest. Coach went all in on his 4 locks so far this year, and he's over 4.
He's over 4 now.
He's basically lost everything. So,
Coach handling them up streets.
I'll tell you, man, just go like I always said, go the opposite of Coach, and you'll be all right. You would be 4-0 so far. So, and we got Sammy saying something here. Sammy likes the Eagles plus 4.5. Sammy, I like the Eagles. The only thing I'm concerned about is if Lane Johnson's out and Malata doesn't play again, not having 4 of your 5 starting offensive linemen, that's a problem for me. So I don't know that I would bet them if all those guys are out. But
plus the line's down to 3, so unless he got an early line,
right.
4.5 might be okay. 3's a little bit sketchy.
And Stizz is right. I saw 4 too, but Stizz is correct. It is down to 3, obviously. So right now, I really would wait closer to game time to see what happens in regards to who's playing, who's not, because if all those linemen are out again, and we know Lane Johnson's out, and that's been kind of I don't know what's going on. It's an odd situation that it's a personal matter, and I don't know what's going on. But to miss 2 important games, you kind of wonder what's going on. And I guess eventually we will find out. But let's start off, guys, with the Thursday night game. Obviously, Seahawks Rams. Couple things I want to talk about. First, obviously, Seahawks, not good news. Russell Wilson gets hurt.
Yes, it is. Geno Smith, baby. Geno Smith, my man, Geno.
Hey, Coach, honestly, Geno actually looked pretty damn good. And his interception at the end was because Lockett fell down. Mm-hmm. So Geno actually came in and started. So he comes in at the 2-yard line and takes him on a 98-yard drive to score a touchdown. The next drive scores another touchdown, gets him back in the game. They stop him down 6 points, get the ball, and he throws an interception on the first play. But like I said, Lockett fell, so it wasn't his fault. Lockett had fallen down. Right. But no, I want to touch on a couple things in regards. Obviously, would you guys agree? I think the Seahawks season is done, obviously, now. With Wilson, they're saying 4, but probably closer to 8 weeks. Is the season done for the Seahawks?
No, I have faith in Geno, man. I have faith in Geno, bro. I think Geno is the man, and so
All right, Stizz, what do you think?
I think he comes through.
Stizz, what do you
We're
think?
going to have a hard time keeping up in that NFC West. I mean, all them good teams. I could see Arizona kind of falling a little bit, but now with that bad news, that's just terrible. That really creeps up on your receivers, and we see Chris Carson got a herniated disc, so who knows how long he's going to be out. Alex Collins didn't look that great taking his place on Thursday night.
Right.
So we'll see what happens, but yeah, I see them going downhill moving forward. I don't know if Geno Smith is your answer, to tell you the truth.
Right. No, and look, even with Russell Wilson, I didn't think they were a playoff team this year. I just think that defense has too many issues. I think they're done. I thought not that they were done, but when you have Russell Wilson, it's always going to give you a chance. But to me, my next question to you guys is, are major changes coming for Seattle? Whether it's I really believe that next year either Pete Carroll or Russell Wilson, which is a major change regardless, I think one of them won't be there. I don't know who it's going to be, but I wonder if Pete Carroll is at that Andy Reid situation with the Eagles where he's been there so long, your voice kind of gets old and you just need some fresh blood or maybe just different ideas. And, Russell Wilson has been complaining about his offensive line and, obviously not in love with the defense. And here we are again now he's hurt from running for his life all the time. I mean, it was a freak injury, but still, now he's hurt. Does Russell Wilson ask for a trade? Stizz, what do you think?
Well, he was talking about it last year, if you remember. There's speculation going around that he wanted out of Seattle. So, yeah, I mean, the defense is terrible. I mean, that they're second worst in the league against the run, 11th worst against the pass. Right. So, I mean, it's bad if you got to be running for your life the whole time. So, yeah, I could see him making a move and trying to get out of there as quick as possible.
Coach, what do you think?
Well, I think he's going to want out, but I just think who's taking on the contract? Who's going to take on that contract? And you want help, but you've got all the money tied up. You're tying up all the money. How does the team help you? Yeah. I mean, there's some give and take. I mean, and you throw Tom Brady out there because he did those team friendly deals for so many years. I mean, granted, it helps his wife makes 10 times more money than he does. Right. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to help your team. Is it about winning or is it about filling your pockets? And at what point is my pockets are full? Let's win some rings, So we'll see.
Sammy, it's a possibility.
I agree.
I think if they do trade Russell Wilson, though, just like with Aaron Rodgers, I think they're going to do it to the AFC. I think they'll try to get him out of the conference, in my opinion. But one of the teams Russell did put down, Coach, was your New York Football Giants as the team he would go to. Just, being married to Sierra, I think being in the, the spotlight in New York is something Russell would want. Now, guys, real quick before we move on to the Eagles-Panthers game, Matthew Stafford, obviously, 3 weeks in, he was the MVP. Everything looked good. Now, the last 2 weeks, Stafford has really come back down to earth. Missed a lot of throws on Thursday night. Had a bad interception in the end zone. Are we now starting to see the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford? Do you have any concern, or do you think it'll be fixed and they'll be okay? Coach, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I would be concerned. I mean, I brought this up. I was surprised when they brought Matthew Stafford in, if you remember, because, I mean, Matthew Stafford really, I thought a lot of his yards were in mop-up time because, Detroit getting killed so much. So I wasn't a big fan of this, and I think there should be concern now because now McVay put all his eggs in one basket here. He went and got rid of Goff, and now he says, okay, Matthew Stafford's winning us a Super Bowl, so it's Super Bowl or bust. So I think they're both on the line here.
Right. Stizz, what do you think? Any concern?
I'm actually going no, I don't. I'm actually going to go the other way. I'm actually a Matt Stafford truther. I mean, he started off hot. I mean, 9 touchdowns first 3 games. You can't expect that performance to go 3 touchdowns a game all the way moving forward.
Right.
Okay, he had a couple subpar games. The good thing is, he only had eyes for Cooper Kupp. Well, guess what happened Thursday night? Bobby Trees, Mr. Robert Woods, as we call him, he went ballistic, dude. 14 targets, 12 receptions, 150 yards. So let's look, to get these guys more involved. Tyler Higbee had a touchdown.
Thanks, Jay.
They got a lot of weapons on this team. So, no, I'm not concerned at all. I think he moves forward with no problem. As long as everything's all right with that finger, which they say it is.
Yeah. I think it's tough. I think it's a little bit of wait and see. The only thing I will say, I'm worried McVay has changed the offense a little bit too much. He was much more creative. I understand he had to be with Goff, and I think he's getting a little pass happy. He wants the big shot too much, when sometimes just move the chains. Take what the defense will give you instead of going for the throat all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. You want to go for the big plays, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, look, McVay's a creative offensive genius. And I think you're not seeing those jet sweeps as much. You're not seeing some of the things that he used to do to be creative. And I think it's because, you think you got Superman now instead of Jared Goff. So I'd like to see him kind of get back to that a little bit and running the football and the play action to help Stafford. But it's a wait and see. But I can tell you guys, I watched that whole game Thursday. He missed some throws. He had a long pass to Kupp that was a touchdown. He underthrew him. Like Stizz says, it's just a game right now, but it's something to watch over the next few weeks to see what happens. Now on to Eagles-Panthers. Big game for the Eagles. Obviously 1-3. Don't want to go to 1-4, especially after you start so good at 1-0 and then go with 4 quarters, basically. Well, they look so good.
I know. I said you guys got the mummers all ready to go and fired up for the parade after 1-0.
Street, baby.
Now, Stizz, real quick, McCaffrey, what's his status for this game?
He's doubtful. He's doubtful.
Okay.
He practiced all week. And I'm telling you, I'll bring him into the discussion, and I'll also bring Dalvin Cook into the discussion because it's pretty much the same news. These guys are still not 100%. And Carolina being at 3-1, I really don't think, although it's what a juicy matchup against that Eagles defense this week. I mean, Christian McCaffrey would go off, but I think you have to rest them at least one more week. Same as Dalvin Cook. I mean, they're rushing these guys back. We've seen it happen last year with Christian McCaffrey. They rushed him back, and guess what? He was out for the rest of the season after that.
Yeah.
Let's give him another week to rest up and then set him on fire.
Okay. Now also too, and I think for the Panthers and Matt Rule, it shows that you're really going for it. They go out and get Stephon Gilmore. You lose J.C. Horn for the year, the rookie they drafted, and you go out and get Stephon Gilmore. And I think that's really the organization and Matt Rule saying, hey, we believe we're a playoff contender right now. We're going for it right now. And I think it's a good thing for the Panthers. Your guys want to see you're in it too. So I thought that was a good move. Regardless, look, this guy was a defensive player of the year 2 years ago. So even if it's just to come in and help with the young guys and, kind of plug the hole for J.C. Horn until he's back next year, I like the trade. And coach, for a 6th round pick, how can't you like the trade? I mean, basically you give it nothing. I think
you got him for
trade.
free.
Right.
You basically got him for free. So I love the trade. And, and I'll throw this out. I read an article yesterday about McCaffrey. It's, because McCaffrey was blaming the Thursday night game on the injury.
Right.
And really, the last 3 games, he's taken 100% of the snaps. Right. That's more part of it than the Thursday night. As much as I'm not a fan of the Thursday night games, right. I still think, hey, you need to not be taking 100% of the snaps. And I think that falls on Coach Rule of, getting him out of the game and giving him some breathers,
Right. I think it was one of those freak things. And Jay, you're right. The Eagles could use Jalen Smith. Obviously, he signed with the Packers now.
Yeah.
It's a good signing by the Packers. Another playmaker on defense. The Eagles don't value linebackers, and it drives me crazy because they have no linebackers. And if you just put a guy like Parsons on the Eagles, I mean, it changes the defense. And I don't understand. And I like the Devonta Smith pick, but I mean, Parsons is a playmaker. And now to move to the Eagles quick, guys, are the Eagles going to run the ball this weekend? I mean, you think after Stizz, you were at the game, were there not chance run the ball at the game last week?
Our whole section 212 was just yelling and screaming, run the ball. And guess what? They ran the ball and they scored a touchdown. How about that? You know, it ain't rocket science, fellas. I mean, I don't know how many times we can cry and bitch and moan about this.
And guys, I ask you honestly, can you think of a player that's more underutilized in the NFL than Miles Sanders with his talent capabilities? Is there anybody you can think of?
I don't think so.
On my end, no. And I mean, I was low on Miles Sanders at the beginning of the year, Nick.
Right.
I mean, you remember you were talking, very high on him. And look, you can't predict this, that they're not going to utilize the guy. Right. I mean, I was low on him because of, all the running backs they had on the roster. But, man, who would have thought that, okay, they get rid of a couple of them running backs, and he's still not utilized. And it's Kenny Gainwell, the rookie, is out-touching him. Yeah. I just don't understand it,
Jay, I'm hoping Penn State. It's going to be a tough, low-scoring defensive game, though. Both offenses struggle. Penn State really struggles to run the ball, but I'm hoping Penn State, but it's going to be a tough game on the road today. It really is. Now, real quick. Okay,
Nick, I'm sorry. Can I backtrack real quick to an early comment by Sam? He looks like a fantasy football question, but he asked about Robbie Anderson versus Philly or Henry Ruggs. You don't have to put it up. It's no big deal. I just happened to see that. Look, Sammy, Robbie Anderson has been really terrible so far this year, which is amazing because, I mean, they used him a lot last year. He's only got 10 receptions for 149 yards so far.
And he's got that connection with Darnold. They played together with the Jets, so you would think that would kind of carry over.
That's right, Coach, and that's what I don't understand. But you know what? He had 5 catches last week. He had 11 targets. So maybe this is his bust out. Maybe he starts getting in the groove with Darnold. I would start Robbie Anderson versus that banged up Philly defense for sure. Listen, he only needs 1 catch, and he gets some long bomb 60-yard catches to be relative. Yeah. So I'd fire up Robbie Anderson.
Ruggs is really starting to show though for the Raiders, making a lot of big plays, kind of taking that Nelson Aguilar spot that Aguilar held with the Raiders last year. He's had some big catches early, and he had a few misses too with Carr, so he could have even better stats. Now, guys, moving on. Oh, real quick question. I want to hear from real quick both you guys. Is there a chance you think Sirianni one and done for the Eagles? So, meaning obviously he won't be coaching next year. Is there a chance?
Oh, 100% chance.
Yeah, Stizz.
Yeah, I'm a coach. 100% chance.
I agree too.
Now I have a question before we move on for you guys. Being the Eagles guys, you are. The Eagles lose this game. Do we see a fire sale? Do we see guys traded off? Fletcher Cox. Zach Ertz obviously has always constantly been talked about. But do you see the fire sale if the Eagles drop this game?
Fletcher Cox they can't because they restructured his contract.
Hey, it's Mike. What's up, Mike?
Coach, so I mean, look, a guy like Ertz, I could say, yeah, that's possible. Rodney McLeod, possible. But the rest of the guys are mainly young, so I don't see it. But a guy like Ertz, I could see, yeah, if they're 1-4. Like I said, Fletcher Cox, $100 million contract, it's just not tradable, and there's a huge cap hit that they don't want to take. Obviously, just getting Wentz off the books this year, they want to use that cap room to try to improve the team. So, no, I like I said, maybe Ertz. That's about it. Now, Coach, we're going to get into your Giants now, who coming off a win last week. I'm going to start on the Cowboys end first, though.
First I want to say F. Troy Aikman. How about that?
Okay, well, thanks for letting us know about that.
Yeah, Troy Aikman.
I ask you this.
Troy Aikman's a douche.
Are Cowboys a Super Bowl contender?
No.
I asked this, not you, Coach. Yeah.
Wow. I don't think so.
Coach,
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. How can they be? I mean, you're telling me they're better than Tampa or any of the teams in the NFC West?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, I would say they're behind the Packers, the Bucs, and the Rams. But, if they can keep improving and that defense keeps showing it, I mean, offensively, they're a Super Bowl contender. The question is the defense going to keep playing at this level? And I want to see this defense do this against better teams. But, I mean, obviously they're playoff contenders, and I think there's a shot that, as crazy as it may sound, ultimately, though, what's going to cost them is Mike McCarthy, I believe. I think coaching will end up costing the Cowboys because he is just not a good coach. And the one thing I don't get, why did they release Jalen Smith? He had played 50% of the snaps this year. He still, has speed. Obviously Van Der Esch, we all know, has injury issues. So if he goes down, you got Jalen Smith. Why do they make that move? I don't understand it, Coach. Any insight on that?
I have no idea. Someone told me it's something to do with the injury. Obviously came down to money. He wanted money. If he gets hurt, the money of his contract, or I didn't really understand it, but what it basically came down to was money. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Mekhi Parsons even said that was the day he understood the NFL was a business. Mm-hmm. And it showed him because obviously I guess he liked Jalen Smith. Zeke made some comments that he was surprised, didn't like it. I guess those two were buddies. So, Stizz, did it make any sense to you, the move?
No, it didn't at all. I was actually shocked by it, but that's like you said, it's a business. So you can't put too much. You can't put too much into it, unfortunately.
It's good for our Packers bet, Stizz, because now he's on our Packers. Maybe it puts them over the top and gets because me and Stizz both obviously bet the Packers to win the Super Bowl.
Let's hope.
What are we getting, 15.5 to 1 or something like that, Stizz, or 16? Yeah. So hopefully that works. Now, guys, real quick, we did this a couple weeks ago. I'm going to do it again. Nfc AFC Power Rankings. Just your top two teams in each conference. I'll give mine out first. AFC, I'm going to go Browns and Bills as my top two teams. NFC, I'm going to go Bucs still. And then I'm going to go Packers. I really like what the Packers – they have some injuries, but once they get Bakhtiari back and the Alexander and Smith aren't season-ending, which is huge, I really like what I'm seeing out of the Packers, that line starting to gel. Coach, who are your top two teams in each conference?
And again, the Giants get shafted because, we're talking about Dallas and the Giants, and then we just jump right into power rankings and skip over to Giants. It's fine. No, I'll give you my power rankings, but I just wanted to
we'll
throw
go
that
back
out
to
there.
the Giants,
because everything's scripted now. It's fine.
Yeah, what's your power rankings?
No, my power rankings for the NFC is Tampa and Carolina. And the AFC is Buffalo and Cleveland.
Okay. Stizz.
Wow, I like
that. Yeah, he should have a drug test with the Carolina one.
I like Coach going off the rails. AFC, I got Buffalo, and I got the Chargers. If they can learn how to close out games.
Yeah.
We got a big game today against the Chargers in Cleveland. So, if they can learn to close these games out, they might be well on their way. NFC, TB12, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm going with my guy, Matty Stafford, and I'm going with the Rams in the NFC.
Okay. All right, now, Coach, I will ask this. We'll go back to your Giants. I was going to go back to it anyway. AKA Mike. If the Giants can pull the upset of the Cowboys, are you back in on the on the Giants that they could possibly make an NFC East run, or do you still think this team has too many holes?
Well, it's the NFC East. Everybody's still in it until the end. Right. I mean, the Cowboys are the ones that are kind of, snoozing out, and trying to get away from the pack a little bit.
Yeah,
which they can because of everybody else. But I mean, the Giants steal it. They're in it. Just Same with the Eagles win today. They're still in it. I mean,
Yeah.
and same with Washington. They're still in it. So
I could be wrong. I think, Coach, I just think Dallas is going to run away with the division this year. I think it's different this year. I think, last year they were close, and I thought they were close this year too, but from watching it early on, to me, it seems like Dallas is the class of the division. But
if Dak stays healthy.
That's a big if.
That's the main asterisk. I mean, if Dak stays healthy, yeah.
Right, and this is a big game for Dak. I mean, you remember this is the game he broke his ankle against the Giants last year in Dallas. So this is kind of a revenge game for him, so to speak. So we'll see. I mean, obviously, I'm rooting for the Giants. I want them to win every game, but and of course, Troy Aikman. Somebody needs to punch him in the mouth because he's an idiot. And
what did he do?
He just stirring the pot. The Giants aren't in the same class as Dallas.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, screw you. No, that's not true yet. It hasn't been proven yet. You know what? You guys go 13-4 or whatever, and the Giants are still 1-3. That's fine. They say that, but you were shitty last year. You're shitty this year so far.
No.
So don't go there yet.
On the eye test, I would say they are right now. But there's more games to prove. You're right about that. Now let me ask you this: I've been hearing more talk now that people are saying the Giants believe that Danny Dimes is their guy at quarterback. How do you feel about that?
I think Danny Dimes is fool's gold. Yes, let me say it again. Danny Dimes is fool's gold. Okay, it's too many hills and valleys. I don't understand why every time this kid wins a football game, he's taking us to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, I don't understand that. It's not. He hasn't been able to put two football games together in his entire career with the Giants so far. So let's see that. I mean, come on. You're playing a big game against Dallas today. Put something together.
Yeah, and that's the thing. To me, how anybody could think that? I mean, to me, you make no sense because he's never been consistent. He's your prototypical backup quarterback.
Right.
He can give you a stretch of 2 or 3 games when he plays well, but he has never, ever been consistent for 5, 6, 7, 8 games where you get a stretch and say, man, Danny Dimes really looks good. So
Danny Dimes is the next Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
He's going to have a great backup career.
Yeah.
And be a stopgap guy for some team somewhere else, but not with the Giants.
All right. Now, want to get into the game of the week, obviously, and it's a doozy. Rematch of the AFC Championship last year. Chiefs-Bills, Sunday night game. Looking forward to it. Like I said, Bills have revenge on the AFC Championship loss. I'll tell you, the surprising thing this year has been they're really winning it on the defensive side of the ball. They got the best defense in football right now, statistically. And Josh Allen has struggled. Any concerns in regards to Josh Allen? Because it was always about completion percentage about him and inaccuracy. And here we are 4 weeks in, and it's kind of rearing his head again. Any concerns? Stizz, I'll start with you.
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, both these teams are averaging 33.5 points per game. Exactly. So that's telling me he's putting up points in that offense. That defense isn't getting him all them points.
Right.
So he's firing away. So, no, I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned with Josh Allen at all.
Coach?
No, I the only thing that concerns me is Buffalo's running game. They did not address the running back issue. I'm a Singletary guy, I like him, FAU guy, but they don't have that other back. He's not there. He's not a bell cow. They don't have a bell cow to take a little bit pressure off, and I think we're going to see some down the stretch Buffalo might run into some issues.
But what's funny, fellas? I know we talked about the running game and the tight end position for Buffalo. Looks like they might have something in this guy, Dawson Knox. I mean, 4 touchdowns in the last couple of games. So, maybe they have something there. But, I agree with Coach that they definitely didn't address the running game. I don't know why. That would make them, I think, a step above the rest if they had a running game. But,
Now, guys, in regards to the Chiefs, can the Chiefs be a legitimate Super Bowl contender, with how that defense is playing right now? Coach, I'll start with you.
Today, no.
Okay.
But will Spags get them right come playoff time? Absolutely.
Okay. Stizz.
I think it's going to hurt them, but you know what? Guess what? If you're scoring 34 points a game and other teams have to outscore you, ain't too many teams put up 34 points per game. They're kind of like the Golden State Warriors, of the NFL.
Good
you know
analogy.
I mean? Listen, we're going to score at will, and if you can keep up with us, keep up with us. No defense, just keep on throwing the ball.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Coach in the sense that Spags' defense from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, if there's a guy that can do it, it's him. They just been – I don't like the downward trajectory. It's been, obviously the Super Bowl year, the questions were the defense. And then that second half of the year, they really started playing strong, got a lot better, obviously win the Super Bowl. I have concerns. They need to get pressure on the quarterback. Frank Clark obviously isn't what he was. Chris Jones has got to get going. Honestly, I agree, Stiz. Their offense is unbelievable, but I do think eventually that defense is going to cost them. They can still win the Super Bowl because you got Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and that offense, like you said, if it's on and it's firing all cylinders, I mean, you're playing catch-up and it's tough. Ultimately, though, I do believe that defense is going to cost them because I don't believe the Chiefs will be in the Super Bowl this year. Who do you guys like on Sunday night in that game? Coach, I'll start with you.
I like Buffalo. I just think Buffalo's playing better football right now.
Stiz?
I'm with Coach. I like Buffalo as well.
Okay.
Revenge game, and they got a lot on the line. So
this is one of my picks. So I will wait till the end when I give my picks. Next game, another good one. Cardinals versus Niners. Coach, I'll let this one go to you to start it first because you've obviously called the Cardinals a fugazi. Do you now want to retract that statement?
What are we under oath? Am I in a court of law now? I got
raise your right hand.
Oh, yeah. I guess kind of, after the win against the Rams, I guess I kind of have to retract my statement and go from there. But, they do. And I think right now, San Francisco, I don't know. They're going to keep it a little vanilla for Trey, but I don't know. So we'll see. But I think the Cardinals should win this football game.
Okay, now, funny, this early on in the year, those Miami Dolphins will be getting the wine out pretty early because the Cardinals are the only team left that's undefeated. Mm-hmm. So interesting that this early in the season there's only one team. Shows you about the parity in the NFL. But let me ask both of you guys this, and I'll start with Stizz. Is this team, the Cardinals, a Super Bowl contender? Stizz, go ahead.
I don't think so. They haven't proven it in the past. This is a tough division, even with Seattle getting banged up. No, I don't think so.
Coach,
I think they come back.
I agree with Stizz.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, I think they are. After week one, I said I really like the Cardinals. They're showing it on both sides of the ball. I really like the growth in Kyler Murray. What concerns me about the Cardinals is Cliff Kingsbury. And you saw it with the field goal against the Jaguars, where he basically gave the Jaguars a touchdown. I think it might be a year too early, but look, they got a good pass rush. You got a lot of playmakers on defense. I honestly believe they're a Super Bowl contender. Whether they do it or not, I do think Russell Wilson's injury does hurt too. Also, too, obviously, as we know, Jimmy G out, I believe, this week. They said, I think they did say he's out. Let me ask you guys both this question. Has Jimmy G played his last game? Or has Jimmy G started his last game as a 49er? Do you think he gets the starting job back? Stizz, I'll start with you.
No, I think it's Trey Lance's team moving forward.
Okay. Coach?
Yeah, I agree with Stizz. I think Jimmy G is out the door, especially since the Bears have given what's his name, the keys, Justin Fields, the keys to the Carr, they're going to do the same in San Fran.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I agree with you guys. It's going to happen at some point. And look, this is one of the reasons. I mean, everybody said they drafted Lance too because, Jimmy G couldn't stay healthy. And I believe it was his play too. It wasn't, the health part was part of the decision, but I believe it too was because they weren't happy with how Jimmy G was playing. So unless Trey Lance comes in here and just looks like he's completely not ready and, it looks bad, I really think, they're going to finish off the rest of the year with Trey Lance. Why not get him the snaps? Because next year, obviously, he's going to be the starter.
Sure. So
why not get him some reps so that you're not going into next year with essentially a second year, but a rookie quarterback that, you need him to learn now basically the intricacies of the game. So to me, it just makes sense now. Guys, little hypothetical, because I thought this was kind of neat. Right now, who would you take? Kyler Murray or Justin Herbert? Coach, I'll start with you.
Herbert, hands down.
Stizz.
Don't even think about it.
Same thing. You know me with Herbert, man. That was my guy last year. And like I said before, if they can learn how to finish games, I think he's going to go far in this league.
Okay. No, I mean, I agree with you guys. I just think with Kyler Murray, just that running aspect. And you haven't seen many guys that can do it both. And, a lot of people don't know, but obviously he was a baseball player. You're really starting to see the accuracy too. And just what he can do running around. And I mean, it's a little bit dangerous and it worries me because as we've always talked about in regards to Lamar and what happened to RG3, you got to worry about one of these days him taking an injury on. And then, obviously it can change the whole aspect of his game. But no, I'm going to agree with you guys and go with Justin Herbert. Now, guys, Urban Meyer. Obviously, we know all just not a good look. Obviously, how he could put himself in that situation is unbelievable to me. You sit there and tell your players, don't be out past midnight. Don't do this, don't do that. And then you go and do it yourself. You don't fly home with the team.
Well, it's not college. I don't think he's telling those guys not to be out past midnight. These are professionals.
Yeah, but but they, he's telling them Coach, they tell you nothing good happens after midnight. It's one of the things they say. I mean, and when you're 0-4, you're coming from the college to the NFL to not ride home on the plane with your team doesn't look good. I mean, I think it's a bad look for Urban Meyer.
Oh, absolutely. It's a bad look. But I'm telling you, this is my theory. I'm sticking to it. This is his way. He doesn't want to be like Nick Saban and Bobby Petrino. He wants to get fired, and Coach, this was his way.
That might be the dumbest take I've ever heard.
All right, so it's my take. My opinion,
and it's stupid. You're gonna embarrass your whole family on national TV and your wife because you want to get out of a job. The way he's gonna get fired is because he's 0-4 and sucks as a coach, not because of something like that. I just think what the fact of the matter is Urban Meyer's over his head. That's the problem. I don't think
I'm not going to argue that.
I think he devised a plan and said, all right, I'm going to go out to the bar. And I'm going to have
his bar that he owns.
Yeah, and I'm going to have some young girl rub up on me. And maybe he'll fire.
It's a good plan. It's a good plan.
So
it's a good plan.
That's your working.
Listen,
theory?
I'm calling look, honey, I'm over my head. I'm going to get fired. There's going to be some crap going on.
Right.
Here's what's going on, and boom. And look, she made a tweet. She got off social media. She's done. So and then let's move on with our day. But I think that's what it is.
Okay. Stizz, is Urban Meyer the coach of the Jags next year?
I think Coach and Urban Meyer are hanging out this weekend. Now that would be a tandem there. I mean, wow, for lack of a better term, what a shit show with this guy. Jeez.
I know.
My God. No. Do I think he's back next year? I don't think so. I mean, look, I see, I'm looking over the schedule of Jacksonville. I see, and this is extended it, a possible 3 wins. They got the Texans again, which the Texans already beat them. They got the lowly Jets, right? And they got the lowly Atlanta Falcons. That's the only 3 as a possibility.
Wait a second. The Jets won. The Jets are trying to put 2 wins together. So is Atlanta. This is a huge matchup in London tomorrow morning, by the way.
Absolutely.
That's why we're today, so everybody can get up and watch that important London game tomorrow morning.
Huge asset, huge fantasy impact and NFL impact.
And so, yeah, I agree with. I think he's done. What's going to be what the question that's going to be yet to be seen though is, will he take the USC job? Because that's when I think he's itching for that USC job. And I don't agree with how Coach put it, but I do believe if he knows that he's over his head with the NFL, he's going to start angling. Because, you got another one of those special college jobs available, and they don't come open very often. And if he's going to want to continue to coach, I definitely see him angling himself to get to USC. All right, Stizz, do you have any?
Before you do that, I want to just throw this out there right now, okay? That Penn State better back up the Brinks truck for Franklin, because if it's not Urban Meyer, it's Franklin.
Right. You're right.
So Penn State, you better start ponying up.
Yeah. The only thing that might go against it, Coach, Penn State has the number 1 recruiting class in 2022. So that might keep Franklin there, but
I don't think it does.
Right. They say Franklin's the guy they want. So I wouldn't take the job because I think the Pac-12 is a joke, but he could turn it around and you don't have as much competition in the Pac-12. Now, Stizz, your fantasy advice for the week.
Yeah, so we're going to hop over. We'll start with the waiver wire. The big pickup this week is Damian Williams, running back for the Chicago Bears. We've seen bad impact. David Montgomery out 4 to 5 weeks. I mean, it killed me. Killed me personally, and I'm sure it killed a lot of other teams out there. Damian Williams had a little bit of a thigh bruise, but he should be good to fire up this week. If not, Khalil Herbert is the rookie there. Maybe pick him up and stash him on the side. Second one, I'm going with, if I can pronounce this right, Olamide Zaccheaus. He's going to be in that London game, okay? We're losing the top 2 receivers for Atlanta. This is an important game. I mean, they don't want to keep on losing. Calvin Ridley's out for personal reasons, whatever that is. They didn't say. Maybe he gets plane sick. I don't, who knows? But
not plane sick, but he might not be allowed the country if he might have something that he's not allowed out of the country. So
could be, and I know they're not announcing it. So Calvin Ridley, is out for this game. Russell Gage is out for this game. They're the top 2 receivers. So I'm going to fire up Olamide Zaccheaus in your lineups if you need them.
Real quick, Stizz, to interrupt there. So does that mean the rookie tight end, it might have a big game tomorrow? Is he a guy?
Yes. You know what, Coach? He's coming in the league with 0 touchdowns so far. There's a lot of talk about Kyle Pitts, man. I mean, he was the 4th drafted tight end, and he was going early. We talked about him beginning of the season. Yeah, Coach, yes. I think, he's overdue for a big game, and this is probably the time to have it when all eyes are going to be on you when you're playing against the Jets. So, yes. Start of the week. I'm going tight end, and I'm going with them Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants. Dalton Schultz, fellas, been looking great. 12 catches, 138 yards, and 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games. Giants are allowing a touchdown to a tight end every game so far this year. So I can't see that stopping this week, And listen, Dak's looking his way a lot. He's looking, actually, Dalton Schultz way more than Amari Cooper and more than CeeDee Lamb so far this year. So, yeah, fire up Dalton Schultz to start. My sit is a no-brainer. We're going to keep on beating our head about this guy, Miles Sanders. You know what? Throw him on your bench. Carolina's allowing the 3rd fewest points to running backs fantasy-wise this year. Miles Sanders averaging 9 rushes, 42 yards per game. That ain't going to cut it. I got to sit this guy until I see any different. Right. And once I see him have a monster game, maybe I'll rethink it. But as of right now in 4 games, fellas, it ain't looking good.
No, it's not. Sirianni needs to run the ball. 2 quick points. One, you think Schultz is doing good. Wait till they get Michael Gallup back, too. which is just going to even help Schultz more because obviously you got to pay attention to Gallup. And Stizz, one guy I like, and Stizz, you're right, he's been very inconsistent, but it felt like Burrow was looking for him, and he really looked good in that Thursday game. CJ Uzomama, or who's your mama, whatever.
Yeah.
Who's your mama? Is it
CJ Uzomama, also known as Who's Your Mama? Yeah. But you know what, Nick, he's very inconsistent, though. That's the problem with him. I mean, he back to his stats the last couple of years, and he'll have that bang game, and then he'll be MIA for 2-3 games straight.
Well, and it's surprising, but you don't know. But Burrow has a lot of options. He really does. Yeah. I mean, you're seeing it with now. Is T. Higgins? Is he out for the year?
No. He's looking to come back actually this week. Yeah.
Okay.
He has a possibility of coming back this week. So, I mean, that's going to bolster that offense even more.
Right. And then, obviously, Jamar Chase looks good. And then who's their other receiver, too? And he's looked pretty good.
Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd. He's having a good year. So, he got some weapons. What the Bengals need to do is shore up that offensive line. And then they're going to have a very formidable offense. And look, a big game this week against the Packers at home that if you can find a way to win, you're going to be 4-1. So is that it for your fantasy advice, though, Stizz?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, perfect. So now we're going to get into my picks of the week. Look, I told you all last week. I said it was the teaser of the year. Nevada Nick, I said, give us some time. I said, me and Stizz will get it going. After week 3, everybody, you guys are struggling. Now I'm 6-1 last 7. I gave you my teaser of the year, lock of the year, in last week with the Bucks and the Chiefs. So I got that. I loved it. Came through. A little hairy at the end there, and that with that field goal. But Coach will tell you, a win's a win, whether it's by 40 points or by 1 point. In the book, it's a win. So I got some picks this week. I like them. I'm going to start off with my teaser. Everybody knows I love the teasers. God bless, Coach.
Thank you.
I'm going to go with this. I think this is a nice teaser. I'm going to take Cowboys -1. God bless, Coach, again against the Giants, with the Patriots -2 against the Texans. I mean, look, Bill Belichick destroys rookie quarterbacks. Davis Mills is coming off one of the worst games for a quarterback in the history of the NFL. He was terrible last week. So I love it. You're getting the Cowboys -1 at home against the Giants, and then the Patriots -2, coming off a tough loss. But I think it was one of those losses that kind of, get a team together against the Bucks. I really like this. I love this tease a lot. Then I'm going to go out to the Sunday night game. And I agree with both you guys. You guys both said it. I like the Bills +3. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Look for the over in this game because the Chiefs are going to score. But ultimately, I think this, and Coach mentioned about the Chiefs' defense getting better, later in the year. Well, right now it's struggling. And ultimately, I think the Bills are going to outscore the Chiefs. I like the Bills +3. This will be my lock of the week. I like the Niners +5.5. And this goes into my thinking last week. Remember last week, guys, when I told everybody I had said that I liked the Cardinals last week. Mm-hmm. I said I love the Cardinals last week. Everybody was on the Rams. Rams were going to win the Super Bowl. Everything was good. Now everybody's on the Cardinals. Cardinals are coming off that big win. I like the Niners +5.5. And then not just that, too. Trey Lance this week. Last week he's getting thrown into that game with Jimmy G. This week, Shanahan is going to take his game plan and script it towards Trey Lance. So it's going to be a total different game plan, probably something we haven't seen from the Niners. So it's going to be something new because obviously these are two different quarterbacks. I think you're going to see a lot of running the ball. I think you're going to see a lot of Trey Lance running the ball and play action. I like the Niners +5.5. I actually like the Niners outright. So I'm going to say if you want, take money line in this too. But I like Niners +5.5. Then I'm also going to go with, I'm sorry, Stizz, going against you on this one, but I like the Browns +3 by the hook. Right now it's 2.5. Get that extra point by the hook. I just think the Chargers, I do like the Chargers too, But I think where the Chargers can be beat is by a team that runs the football. And I think the Browns run the football well. I am a little concerned about Mayfield with the injury. He has a partially torn labrum in his left shoulder. But I think the Browns are going to run the ball and find a way to win this game. And then my last game, I'm going to go with the Bengals +3 against the Packers. This is a shady line. Stizz said this himself, that this line made no sense.
Very shady.
It's very shady. And I think there's reasons, though, too. Josh Myers, the rookie center, who's looked really good for the Packers, is out. Elgin Jenkins, their Pro Bowl tackle, is questionable. Obviously, Bakhtiari's out. You lose your Pro Bowl corner, Zaire Alexander, last week. So I think this is just going to be one of those games the Packers could struggle. I'm going to go Bengals +3. And like I said, I gave you guys my lock already. My lock of the week. After starting 0-2, I'm now 2-2. As we all know, Coach is over. So my lock of the week will be the Niners +5.5. Stizz, your lock of the week.
Well, I hate to go against Nevada Nick, the almighty, on this roll, but I'm going Chargers -2.5. I mean, for them to get this win, you mentioned it, they're going to have to stop this run. They're going to have to stop this dynamic duo of Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. A lot easier said than done, obviously.
Right.
I'm counting on this torn labrum by Baker. I'm counting on him. Excuse me. I'm counting on the Chargers trying to take the ball away from the running backs, trying to put it into Baker's hands and let him beat you. So, like I said many times, if they can finish the game, 2.5, I kind of like that. It's less than a field goal. I'm going with the Chargers as my lock of the week. I'm only 1-3 on the season, so I'm not too far behind Coach. So I got to get back on the schneid myself.
A lot of Nick in first place. Stizz, your prop bet of the week.
Well, you know what? Last week, I gave you a kicker. And you guys are probably, looking at it saying, what the hell is this guy drinking? Well, I was drinking already at the Eagles game. So, yeah, but that wasn't the reason. My reasoning, I took Randy Bullock last week, for Tennessee over 1.5 made field goals. That was over in the first quarter. I mean, that was an easy one. And
it was.
My train of thought there was their top two receivers were out. A.J. Brown, Julio Jones were out. So I felt that they're going to have a hard time getting in the end zone.
Yep.
Okay. And that was true. He had 2 field goals, 3 field goals right away. Well, I'm going with that same premise this week. Big London game, Atlanta, the Jets. Atlanta's missing their top 2 receivers in Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage. I'm going Young Ho Koo.
Young Ho Koo.
With same stat line, over 1.5 made field goals. I think they're going to have a hard time getting in the end zone. I think it's going to be a Kyle Pitts day. This Cordarrelle Patterson is really lighting it up.
Yep.
But I think they're going to have a hard time. It's going to be a Young Ho Koo day, and I'm going over 1.5 made field goals.
Now, Stizz, if you win again this week, will you have a kicker again next week? Are we going to just keep it on going?
I may do the rest of the season. I may really do.
Hey, a winner's a winner.
Research. Yeah, in-depth research into these kickers, and maybe, that might be my stride. That might be my calling.
He's going to bet the board in AC. Going to bet all the kickers.
That's it.
Now, Coach, on to you.
On to me.
0-4. Can he get off? Can he get off?
When you're over, you got to look deep and hard, and when you come up with whoever's playing Jacksonville.
Urban Meyer Jr. over here.
It's the other way. It's the other way. You have to do it the other way. You're pointing up to the other way. Nope, the other way. The other way. Nope. The other way. Nope.
I can't get this.
Hey, there you go.
I don't know. Whatever. Yeah.
Nevada Nick's pop locking already. He's gonna start doing a head spin soon.
I know, but
I'm going with the Titans this week. I'm going with the Titans. I just think that they're going to just run Derrick Henry to death and run him down his throat, and it'll be done easy. They win by a touchdown easily.
The good news for you, Coach, is A.J. Brown's back this week. No Julio this week, but A.J. Brown looks to be back. So, at least they get one of them receivers back.
Stizz, this was one of those lines that I thought looked shady a little bit. It opened up at 4. I understood if both receivers are out, but now that only one's out, for some reason, this screams to me that Titans may win but not cover because it just seems too easy, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it could be. I mean, but they are on the road. Look, they just struggled against the Jets last week.
Right.
You know?
You're right.
You know, so who knows? Who knows?
Now, before we go, I want to know, are either one of you guys going to throw out a boxing prediction tonight, since we're on a Saturday and there is a big fight coming up tonight on pay-per-view?
Coach, I like Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Look, I watched the last fight. He dominated him. He just has better boxing skills. If he loses, it's going to be on. He gets caught with one shot because Wilder has that type of ability. I mean, look, he obviously is a boxer, but Wilder obviously has that with a guy his size. And Tyson Fury, I mean, he's 6'8", 277 pounds. That's a big boy. Wilder's, not. I think he's 6'5" or 6'6" himself. And I think he's like 40 pounds less. So he was like 237. But
they're both at their heaviest.
Yeah. And Fury said that's why he wanted to knock him out. That's why he gained the weight. But yeah, I'm going to go with Fury, Coach.
Okay.
Should be a good one. Hopefully they'll tell, we'll see that down AC.
Yeah, we will have to watch it, Stizz.
I want to give a little nickname to your buddy the professor here, since he gets tomatoes on his cheesesteak by mistake, of course, or whatever.
Right.
And they called him Mike. So, Professor, I think your new nickname is going to be Jersey Mike.
Jersey Mike the tomatoes.
You know what I mean? And Mike on the sandwich, we're going to go Jersey Mike, Mr. Jersey Mike.
Okay, Jersey Mike.
What do you think, Coach?
I like it, Jersey Mike.
Yeah.
Jersey Mike. All right. AKA Jersey Mike.
Known as the professor.
Known as the professor.
I like
and we'll see who's going to get their first win, Coach or Urban Meyer. We'll see this weekend.
We'll see. All right, everyone.
We're going to meet up at the strip club. So,
there's a few in Jacksonville. We'll see.
There you go.
So everyone, listen. Some big college football coming to get ready to start here in a couple minutes. So we're gonna end up. Those guys are going to Atlantic City, but we'll be back Monday to recap everything and talk about Monday Night Football. So everybody enjoy, be safe, like the page, share it with your friends, go over to YouTube, ring the bell, and subscribe. We appreciate all your help, and everybody have fun, stay safe, enjoy some football.
LSU today too. That's another pick I'll give out quick, Coach. Thank you.
All right.
LSU, I like them today. LSU plus 2.5 against Kentucky.
All right.